2023 Hyundai Palisade Calligraphy Edition is arguably the most luxurious non-luxury SUV on the market right now. And today I'm going to take you on a full tour of this vehicle to prove it. We're going to check it out from the exterior, interior, check out the power plant, and at the end of this video I'm going to take you for a spin in it. Now I found this vehicle at Gettle Hyundai of Lakewood, Florida, so big shout out to those guys and huge thank you for allowing me to spend some time and show it to you. Guys, also if you like automotive content, my name is Matt, and here on Matt the Car Guy, I post 2 car reviews every single week. So if you'd like to check out the rest of my channel, give me a subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Now let's get back to this video. 2023 Hyundai Palisade is not new, but it's just gotten a mid-model refresh and it's most visible right in front of this vehicle. Before we get to the lights, let's check out the hood setup. I like how it does have this little raise right in the middle and kind of grooves on the side for better aerodynamics. It looks masculine, but not overpowering, if you know what I'm saying. Now, as far as the light setup, brand new. This is new for 2023. It still has double stack lights with the main headlight unit being right down here. Fully LED lights, and then it does have that daytime running lights kind of cascading from top to the bottom. As you can see, the turn signals are blinking. They're now a part of this huge grille over here. And now I've done the Palisade Limited. I wasn't too crazy about this piano black front. I really like that satin chrome grille that you see on this particular one. It looks really classy. It looks really good. Big Hyundai logo in front. You do have the front view camera, and right underneath here behind this square is where a lot of the technology hides for the safety assist. And then the bottom portion of the bumper again is in this satin chrome slash maybe like the gunpowder metal. Now, one thing to mention, it also has this little air vent on the side right next to the light to improve aerodynamics of this vehicle. Now, the engine has not changed, but let's check it out what it is. Power plant of this vehicle is still the same as it was for the last year. 3.8 liter V6 naturally aspirated, 291 horsepower, 262 pound-feet of torque, made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, this is an 8-track, so this is an all-wheel drive model. Now, check out the rest of the engine compartment right here. It does have hood struts on both sides to nicely lift this hood up, and underneath the hood you can see some of the sound insulation, so that should make up for a nice and quiet ride. Hyundai Palisade is considered a mid-size 3-row SUV, so it competes in the same segment as Honda Pilot, Toyota Highlander, Kia Telluride. And as far as the domestic market, you can see the Chevrolet Traverse, maybe Ford Explorer, and it really stands out from all of these vehicles mentioned because it does have so many amenities on the inside, particularly in this calligraphy trim, that this is crazy. But before we get to the inside of this vehicle, let's check out the exterior of it. It hasn't changed from 2022 on the side. I like the steel graphite metallic color. It really looks good on this vehicle. What you can see right away that this is the calligraphy trim is the wheels. Those wheels are exclusive to the calligraphy trim. These are 20-inch wheels, 245 by 50 is the tire size, all-season tires, which you can also see that all this cladding right here is the same color as the rest of this vehicle. You have some marker lights right here and the satin chrome trim underneath here, and the same thing, matching door handles and the surroundings of all the windows. As far as the mirror setup, same color as the rest of this vehicle. You can see the turn signal is right on it. On the inside of the mirror, you have the blind spot assist. You also see that it is a heated mirror, and then there is a camera right underneath here as well. And if you can hear this vehicle making those noises, is because I'm getting close to it, and this has the smart entry system. So you don't have to press any buttons either on the door handle or on the key itself. It basically opens as you get close to it, and that all goes as well for the rear tailgate. Now, if you look at the windows, they're nice and big, so there's a lot of outward visibility from inside of this vehicle, and I like how this trim kind of ends over here, makes it for a nice and very luxurious look of this. Now, the nice part about this car is that it has a feature that we haven't seen on the Palisade before. Now, maybe that's because I've done one a couple years ago, but it does have this vehicle summon feature. So basically what it is, if you wanted to get it in or out of a parking spot, you start the vehicle up using your remote control. And once this vehicle starts, close it first. Once it starts, if you need to move it out of the parking spot, all you have to do is press the button on it, and this vehicle is going to start moving. Okay, so if you're in a tight parking spot and you make sure that nothing or nobody's going to hit you, you move it. If you want to move it back or in the parking spot or in a tight garage, you can actually do the same thing by pushing the button back. So this is pretty cool. Now it sensed me, so it stopped, which is a nice thing. But since we're back here, let's take a look at the backside of it. I don't see any visible changes on the backside of this vehicle. It looks the same as the previous model, which means it looks really, really good. I always like the Palisades. Now, what I like about this, it does have this gate spoiler, and right here, you can't see it because the brake light is not on, but this little strip right here is the brake light. So it's incorporated right in this tailgate spoiler, and it also does have a camera that projects the image to the rear view mirror, which we're gonna look while we're on the interior. It does have the exposed wiper, Palisade spelled out, big Hyundai logo, fully LED setup as far as the lights, the turn signals. You know, it does have this trim that I've always had before, and then the reverse lights are right here, and I like this strip. I think that's new for 2023. I haven't seen it in the previous generation ones. Those are the reflector light. If you scroll down here, there's really nothing on here. Exposed exhaust on one side, and this one doesn't have a trailer hitch, but it is available. Now, it is a power gate. One other thing to mention, this is an H-Track, which is Hyundai's lingo for all-wheel drive system. The gate can be opened several different ways. I hope I can demonstrate to you that it does have this sensor right underneath it. I'm not sure if it's turned on or not, but you can open it. It does have the proximity feature. We can also open it via remote, which I'm going to do right now. And then we're going to check out of how much room and what's so cool about it in the third row seat. Walking up on here, you can see that this is a mid-size SUV. It does have quite a bit of room behind the third row seats, even when they're up. And underneath here, this is a double floor, basically. You have a little bit more storage over here. You can see that there's a jack to lift this vehicle up and tools to remove the spare tire. By the way, the spare tire is actually underneath this vehicle. And here, this is pretty clever because they do have this cargo cover that comes standard on the Calligraphy edition, and you can safely store it here out of sight if not in use. So the third seats are up. Now these are the power third row seats, which is pretty cool, and you can actually second and third row seats can be operated by these buttons over here. What also you have here, Harman Kardon stereo. So this is the premium stereo, 12-volt outlet. And let's drop the third row seats and let's see how much room we have. It is a one-touch operation, so you touch the button and let it the vehicle do its job. And here's what you have if you fold down the third row seat. What's important to mention too, that all three rows on this vehicle are heated, so you can see there's heated seat option on here. There's also a USB-C, and there's ability to recline the third row seat as well. So this is preloaded, if you ask me. Now, if you want to drop the middle row seats, you can do that. I think I have something in this, so it's not going to drop completely, but that kind of gives you an idea of how much room there is inside of this vehicle. Middle row seats are really nice and comfortable. They're wide enough. They're very soft because they have this Napa leather seating surfaces. I do have plenty of headroom, and I also have my own sunroof. So for your point of reference, I'm 6 feet tall. I'm not touching, not even close to the front seat, which I have adjusted to my regular seating position. I'm comfortable on the width. I'm comfortable on the height. So there's really no issues. And I can move my feet down into this footwell. They fit nicely underneath the front seat. The interior is really premium. Let me show you the back of it. As always, we're going to start with the rear door panel, and right away you can see that this is a premium trim level. So first of all, you can see different trim pieces. Right here on top, this is piano black with a silver kind of lines inside of it. Very nice, very luxurious. Right underneath here, this is leather, but not just a regular leather. This is that Napa leather. It's perforated, it's stitched. It's a very nice design. And over here, you can see the window controls. You have cup holders, a little bit more storage underneath here, and you have the Harman Kardon stereo. It's also important to mention you do have the manual sunshade for the second row seats, which is important. Now, in order to get to the third row seat, it's easy. You know, all you have to do is press this button over here and the seat does the work. It's not automatic, but it's basically spring loaded, I guess, and it gives you the ability to get inside the third row seat. The third row seats, okay, they're just about the same as most of the midsize SUVs. They're comfortable for kids, not so much for adults, but they do the trick. It is a 3-row SUVs, but check out the seats. The seats are covered in this Napa leather. They're heated, they're ventilated in the second row seat as well, and the design of it is absolutely awesome. Now, check this out, 2 captain chairs in the back. Now, if you needed connectivity, there is a USB-C ports on both driver and passenger sides, and you have your own climate controls. Now, see, the seats are ventilated and heated for both driver and passenger. You have your temperature control, fan control, vents control, all that stuff. Underneath here, you have the regular household outlet and your regular 12-volt power outlet in here. Even though it is an H-Track, you don't have a bump in the middle, so it's really roomy and nice on the inside. Plus, you get the seat back pockets in the seats. And as always, let's check out how this vehicle sounds when you close the door. And it definitely produces nice and solid thud on here. Let's take a look at the front door panel over here. You can see, in addition to what you have in the back, you do have the memory seat settings, 2 of them. Then you have the window mirror lock controls over here, and then you have a little bit of speaker cover right underneath here. Still Harman Kardon stereo, a little bit more storage underneath here, and then you have the reflector light just in case, you know, you open the door so people can see that you're exiting off the vehicle. Palisade right on the door sill. Million of controls right on the seat over here. So in addition to the regular controls, you also have the lumbar support. You also have this ergo massage button right there that I'm going to talk to you a little bit more once I'm going over the infotainment system. But even have the tie support, which is usually reserved for the Highline vehicles. That's pretty cool. The design and the comfort of this seat is really good. You have the perforated leather, you have the stitched leather, you have the contrast tubing on the side. Really impressed with how they did it. Now, let's check out one other thing. You actually have 2 sunroofs on this vehicle. Look at this, one in the back, and then there's one right here in the front. Now, only the front one opens. The rear one is basically for the light that goes in the cabin, but that's pretty cool too. Now, what else we have? On the left-hand side of the steering wheel, several buttons over here. So you have the dimmer, you have the tow mode, you have the traction control off, then you can open the gate and engage the parking brake. Steering wheel, tilt and telescoping, and one thing worth mentioning right here is more storage. We all need more storage, and that Palisade definitely gives it to you. Now let's check out the rest of this interior. We're talking about premium. This is definitely a premium interior on this Palisade Calligraphy. I gotta tell you, I really dig it. Now, even that trim that I showed you on the door now kind of reminds me of the Maybach that I did. It still has the same piano black with the silver lines going across. This is soft plastic. Now the vents are nicely incorporated in the cabin. You do have nice and deep glove box over here. A bunch of buttons that we're all gonna go through all of them, but before we do that, I want to also show you one thing. I'm not sure if you can see, but it does have the head-up display. Right now it says 0 miles per hour and the speed limit sign. And then moving down here, one thing I didn't show you, it does have the Twitter right over here. Now the Alcantara is what you have on the headliner and the pillars, and that's literally what you pay thousands of dollars for on the premium brands, and you get that standard on this Calligraphy. Now we're going to talk about the price in just a little bit, but you'll be surprised the amount of features that you get for the MSRP. Steering wheel, nice steering wheel. Now it does have it looks kind of like the Genesis steering wheel, like the two-piece steering wheel. It does have stitching right underneath here. Behind you have the gear shifters, which you can engage if you are in the drive mode, and then you have a bunch of buttons. Now on one side you have this is customizable button mode, and the start button is customizable. You have the voice control, volume up and down for different features, and then you have the phone control. Hyundai logo over here, and then you have pages, which is controlling the screen right in front of you, and then you have the cruise control settings and the adjustment of the distance between you and the car in front of you. Now we've seen this setup before. It does have my favorite feature, like I mentioned before, and that's the blind spot assist. When you turn the turn signal to the right dial, it changes into the monitor, and you do the same thing for the left. So that's a nice and safety feature on here. Like the display of it, I think this would be my favorite option. However, you can change it if you'd like to in the different settings. And there's different modes that you can change. So let's take a look. On the right hand side right now, you have your tachometer. On the left hand side, you have your speedometer. Right down underneath here, you see your gas mileage uses, and we are in the smart mode. By the way, the modes, there are several different driving modes, so might as well go through them right now. Smart mode basically lets the vehicle decide of what's best for you, and then the sport mode gives you a little bit more sporty feeling. It also looks sportier as far as the dials on the display. You can see everything kind of turns red. Comfort mode gives you the most comfortable settings. Eco, the most economy, and then the snow mode gives you the best performance in the slippery condition. And then you can also lock your center diff, so you can lock your differential. Now let's take a look at what else we have. Right in the middle screen, you can see right now you have the miles per hour, but you can change that and see your trip, 2 trips actually, and the total overall. And then you go to the second screen, you have your compass / navigation, tire pressure, we need to drive for it to display, and then the dynamic cruise control. So there's different customizations in here. And by the way, if you wanted to have a certain theme, like right now it's linked to the drive mode, but if you wanted to have the sport theme in the comfort mode, you can change that in the settings as well. So this is what the instrument cluster is. By the way, this is a 12.3-inch display, one of them at least, and then the second one is right here. Now we've seen this setup before, and what we have, first of all, home button. So it is a touchscreen. It is big, it's nice and bright, it's very quick to respond. Here's your map. You can make this a full screen if you'd like to, and the maps are nice, visible. The navigation is easy to use. I mean, you go back to your home screen. The navigation menu consists of several different options: search POI categories, previous destinations, safe places, Hyundai dealerships, just in case you get lost and you needed service. And then you have the home, work, favorite 1, favorite 2, favorite 3, and you can add all of those as far as your frequent destinations in here. So go back to the home mode. Now you have phone projections. Unfortunately, you still have the wired Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. I wish they finally move it to the wireless. I'm not sure if they're ever going to do that. Voice memo allows you to record a short message and retrieve it later. Use your climate control settings, so you can actually adjust your temperature here. You can adjust your different vent settings, you know, if you like to, and which vents the air is coming out of. And then you can go to the rear climate control right on the side here, and it controls what's going on in the back if you don't have anybody sitting there, or if you have kids that you don't want to mess around with this. So go back to the home screen. We have valet mode, and that basically is a subscription service, and then passenger talk. Now this is a long vehicle, so if the kids are trying to tell you that they can't hear you, what you can do is start the passenger talk. So the front microphone will pick up the driver's voice and play it through the rear speaker. So there's no question they're going to be able to hear that. Quiet mode, that basically limits the speaker outputs in the front to, I believe, position number 7. Let's see, all volume levels above 25 will be decreased to 25 automatically. So 25, so it's just kind of a different mode, but basically turns off rear speakers, limits the front speakers. Rear climate, now if you want to go straight to this, you can get it from climate control or from the rear climate control. HD radio data, traffic Doppler radar. Let's see if we have it. There you go, here's your weather, you know, here's where we at, here's the radar. That's a pretty cool. Chance of snow, none, 95 degrees. Fuel prices, okay, all, you know, from the closest one to the furthest one. So you can definitely shop around and go to the one that offers you the best fuel prices. 342 to 335. All right, we might go to Costco to fill up, right? And then traffic. So this is the live traffic. Basically, it tells you where there's construction and accidents and things like this. That's a very cool feature. Let's go back. Setup. That allows you to set up several different features on the vehicle. Now, one thing that you have on this vehicle that you don't have on the standard Hyundais, there's a couple of them. First, I'm going to show you the cluster right here. So cluster theme selection, if you wanted it a certain theme, you just uncheck the drive mode, and then you check, let's say, the classic B, which is basically the sport mode type of thing. And if you leave it in that, no matter which mode you're in, you're going to have that on display. I'd rather have it linked to the drive mode. That's just me, but everybody's different. Climate control settings, so recirculate air, all the options that you can adjust here. And here's something new for this one. It lights, so it does have the ambient light. I know it's not going to be visible right now because we're in the bright sun, but you can choose several different colors over here to select your ambient lighting. So orchid green, freesia yellow, sunrise red, etc. Set custom color if you like to. If you don't like any of those, you can basically select, I don't know, a turquoise right here, and that would be the color that displays. Now it displays right underneath here, it displays right underneath this trim piece, so it kind of illuminates the footwells over here. It's really nice. I wish I could show it to you, but unfortunately there's no dark places for me to go in here. So go back to the home screen, and the rest of it we have radio. So here's what different options we have. Oh, now, cool, they went back to this. Now, I know one of 2023 Hyundais didn't have it, but I like this kind of looking, the old lamp radio look that you have. So as far as the setup, you have the FM, AM, and the Sirius XM radio. And we can only check this out as far as the media. We can check the radio out in the sounds of nature. I've done it many times, so you probably are tired of me turning on the sounds of nature, but open air cafe. Definitely gives you that nice surround sound. When turn that off. See, this does have that QLS sound. What also you have is you have the Blue Link, which is the subscription service. Notifications and user manual displays the QR code you can scan with your phone and get to the owner's manual. Now let's scroll down here. Like I said, the vents are nicely incorporated in the interior of it, and I like that this is not piano black. This is nice, simple, matte black, elegant. So you have your hard buttons for map, navigation, radio, media, hazard lights, seek, track, favorite buttons, which you can set up to whatever you want as long as on this list over here. So you can have it at quiet mode, display on and off, HD radio data, Wi-Fi hotspot, and you can also set up the custom button on the steering wheel, mode button on the steering wheel. And here's what Hyundai does. You can actually switch the volume and power button from right to left and switch it with the browse media map zone in and out. So we're actually not going to do that. I like it the way it is. And let's go down, scroll down even more. So here's what I did. you know, this is a touch screen as well. So there's another screen that controls the climate control over here. And we're gonna actually turn this down just a little bit so it's not as noisy. But you can see you can control the fan, you can control the different vent settings, you can control the AC low, and then you can turn on auto, 3 stages auto, low, high, and medium, basically. So we're gonna do it in low. And what else do we have? Here is front, off. That's as far as the climate control. Scrolling down here, this is the dial that I control the drive mode. So you also have the diff lock right in the middle. You have the auto hold. This is for your brakes. So if you press the brake at the light and you engage the auto hold, you release the brake, the vehicle will not start rolling until you actually hit the accelerator. Hill descent assist, parking sensors. Now you have the parking assist over here, and then you have the automatic engine on and off buttons. You can turn that on and off. You also have your seat controls. Now this is your ventilated and heated seats, as well as the heated steering wheel. This is your gear shifter, and over here we have wireless charging. We have 2 cup holders. If these are too big or too small or in the way, you can actually get them out of the way and use only one if you'd like to. Another USB port over here, and moving down here you have more storage behind it, and also a USB and a 12-volt power outlet. So very nice. One thing that I remembered when I was telling you about the seat is the setup that you have. And you know, as far as the setup for the seats, that's in vehicle, and you scroll down to the seat, and you have the seat position, change alert, and ergo motion activity notification. So let me show you what that is. If I move the seat, see right here, the screen appears and it shows you what I'm doing right now. So the seat moving back and forth, up and down. Now I can also control my bolsters, okay, make them tighter, make them wider, and I can also push this ergo motion seat. So this is kind of like a massage, and it gives you option for pelvic, lumbar, whole body massage, which I'm going to leave on, by the way, because I need that after a whole day of work. And so this is what it does. And let's put it in reverse. Let's check out the rear view camera. So it does have a 360 camera, which is awesome. Again, a premium feature in this class of a vehicle. So you have several different camera settings, and you can open this up, this sub menu over here. So this is your rear of the vehicle. This is the rear wide angle and the side of this vehicle as well. And you have the ability to move this vehicle around if you'd like to. So it is wide, so that means that this animation is actually not color coordinated with the rest of this vehicle. It's simply white. And then the display contents, top view parking lines, rear view parking line, parking distance warning, etc. And again, I like this because it also shows you trajectory lines. So if you move the steering wheel, pay attention to this, it shows you the trajectory that the vehicle is going to do. So if there's something right next to you, you're going to be able to see whether you're going to actually hit it or clear it. And that's an important safety feature on here. So pretty cool setup over here. Scrolling up right here, I showed you that the camera and the back. Now you have the regular mirror enabled right now, but you can turn that on into this digital monitor, which is a great option to have, especially if you have people sitting in the back, and that's because they're not blocking any view. This is unobstructed view that's from the back of the camera. You have the home link system, 3 different devices that you can control, and up right here on top. So let's take a look at this setup right here. So what you have is you have your moonroof control, you have this rear sunshade control. So let's see if we can see that over here. I can actually close that sunshade if I don't want the light to get inside of this vehicle, and it's all nice and blacked out. And also open it up, and then the on the front moonroof opens up, and that's a slide or tilt, you know, depending on the way you like it. So here you go. Close that, we don't need it, and this is pretty much it. So this is the interior of it. Super premium for the class of this vehicle. Now, Let's talk about pricing and let's take it for a spin. Hyundai refreshed the Palisade for 2023 model year. And I gotta tell you, they still have 5 different trim levels that are available. And starting with the SE, which is the base trim, starting MSRP is at $34,950. This is a front-wheel drive. Of course, it's powered by the same engine. It's got the same transmission, just a lot less feature. The SEL is the next trim up, starting at $37,950. And then we move on to the XRT, which is a brand new trim level for 2023. Now, the XRT, basically, it has the different trim pieces on the outside. It makes it look a little bit more rugged. It makes it look a little bit different. It does have the crossbars on top, etc. But it doesn't really add anything to the ruggedness of this vehicle in terms of performance. So this is just a design trim. Then the Limited, I've done the Limited in the past, and for 2023 I liked it, but I gotta tell you, the Calligraphy, there's only about $2,000 difference between the Limited and Calligraphy. Calligraphy starts at $48,900. If you get it with an all-wheel drive, this particular one, the base MSRP before adding any of the features on it, it's $50,800. And with carpeted floor mats, cargo net, cargo tray, cargo cover, wheel locks, and destination, $52,770. So for $53,000, you're getting all this. Now, if you were, and I know it's a completely different animal, but if you were to get a Mercedes GLE or a BMW X5 with the same features, that's what you see in here, you're looking at about $75,000 to $80,000. So that's $30,000 cheaper, and you have the same thing. Even with the Volvo, the midsize XC90, you know, you'll compare that to it, you're going to be in the 70s. So a lot less expensive. Now, don't ask me how much they're selling these vehicles for. I have no idea. I don't work for a dealership. I don't make commissions whether they sell it or not. So I'll post a link in the description of this video and their phone number. Give them a call. If you can make a deal, great. If you can't make a deal, great. Now, as far as the fuel economy, one thing we didn't mention, on the all-wheel drive is 19 in the city, 25 on the expressway for combined gas mileage of 21. Take it for a spin. Now we're going to start off with the turning radius, and let's see how tight the steering wheel is. Now I do have it in the smart mode. I'm going to switch it over to the sport mode in just a little bit. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to take this vehicle, turn the wheel completely to the left, and see if I can do a full 360. 1, 2, 3, 4 parking spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5. So almost 5 parking spots, mid-size SUV. That's pretty much standard to what we have between 4.5 and 5. It's not bad. First driving impressions, okay? We've driven that before, obviously, so it's not really first for me, but overall it feels really nice. It feels solid. I like the sound of the engine. It's not too loud, but you can hear that it is there. I like the power delivery on this vehicle. It's a naturally aspirated engine, so there's no turbo lag or anything like this. Actually feels good as far as the pedal and acceleration. Smooth acceleration right now. We'll get to the point where we're going to do the full-on acceleration test, but just a smooth acceleration here. Flip it over to the sport mode. I can feel that in the steering wheel. It tightened up a little bit. Very nice, very smooth, very quiet. Right. Now, I took this road with the Elantra before, and I was complaining about the excessive road noise. Now, you can hear this. You can barely hear the noise from the road in here, which was very noticeable on the Elantra before. And that's because it's a better insulated vehicle. It has a better tires. It makes a whole lot of difference. By the way, I still have this ergo massaging me, which is really, really nice. I'm going to switch that to lumbar right now. Turning, a little bit of a body roll, but again, not too bad. And we're going to do a little bit more aggressive acceleration, just a little bit, just to see of how this vehicle would handle in the regular day-to-day situations. We're not going to do 0 to 60 or anything like this, just to want to make sure that it's capable of safely merging in the traffic and not lacking in that department. That could be potentially dangerous if it did. So basically park it right here. We're at 0. And let's go. About 50 miles per hour. That's about as far as I can push it here. Not bad. It's nice, it's smooth. I really do like that power delivery. Now, of course, you know, it would be nice, it would be kind of cool if Hyundai came out with a sporty version of it. You know, something that instead of 290 horsepower had like 350. I think it would probably be a better solution than like just having that XRT trim with just a few different design elements, is just to have more of a performance-based Palisade. That'd be different. Let me know what you think about that idea. My overall thoughts, and again, I'm going to be very subjective here because I've always liked the Palisade, and I've liked the way it's driven ever since it came out, and I like all the amenities of it, and nothing has really changed. I still think it's a superior vehicle to many other competitors on the market right now. You know, we'll see, because there's some other ones that are coming up, being redesigned for 2023. I anticipate that Honda's gonna do something very nice with their Pilot, although they haven't really released any details on it other than the tiny photo of a camouflaged vehicle on top of the mountain. So we'll see what they're gonna do. The Kia Telluride is gonna get refreshed, as well as the Palisade got refreshed for 2023. Toyota Highlander is only a few years old, so I don't think there's gonna be any changes for 2023 model year. Nissan Pathfinder just got updated, so I mean, here you go. This is the competition right now in the non-luxury segment. Show me one vehicle out of the ones that I just mentioned that is more luxurious than this one. I see none. Okay, with all the features that this particular one has, MSRP of $53,000. I think it's a bargain. I think it's a great vehicle, and if you're looking for a combination of luxury and budget, this could be a perfect solution for you. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I really enjoyed making this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope you liked it, and I hope you learned something. If you did, give me the like, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do so by going to the right hand side of your screen. Clicking that subscribe button really means a lot to me. Thank you for being part of Matt the Carguy family if you're already a subscriber, and I will see you in my next video. Cheers.